Hello, good day guys. So, narito na naman tayo. So, week 9, our topic is ARPA system display. So, pag-aralan natin guys yung tamang setting ng display ng ating ARPA radar at any condition. So, at the end of this topic, the student shall have been able to familiar with the ARPA system display characteristic, familiar with the setup and maintain correctly the ARPA display. Okay, so i-load muna natin yung ating scenario. So we are using the area of Gibraltar Strait or Strait of Gibraltar eastbound Mediterranean. Okay, so eastbound tayo guys. Okay, papasok ng Mediterranean. Okay, let's start na. Okay, we are experiencing bad weather or heavy rain. All right, and let us check with our instrument. Okay. So, let's check the signal, nav lights. Because of heavy rain, we activate the navigational lights. Okay, and then go to maneuvering info. Okay, so we are using autopilot since I'm only single watch. And slow ahead engine. Our vessel is a BLCC ballast condition. Okay guys, so we know already our vessel, and let's have a view. Okay, so we are navigating eastbound on the Strait of Gibraltar, eastbound to the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, alright, now we are going to check now our radar guys. So for our radar, we are using the Bridgemaster Echo. Activate. So we have also Pruno and Nucleus, but for now we'll use the Bridgemaster Echo. So we are going to properly set up in a bad weather condition guys. Okay, so before we transmit, let's see the setting is now initially on X band, so you can use the S band. Okay, X band is 3 cm radar frequency, and the S band is using 10 cm X band frequency. Okay, so we will see the difference later on between the X band and the S band. Our range now is set to 3 nautical miles. Okay, and we can set that to 6 miles. Okay, at least 6 miles. The ship motion mode is set to relative motion. We have the true motion, so we have the relative motion. So we will set first to relative motion, where our vessel is stationed at the center. So we have relative motion R, relative, and relative motion true. So what is the difference between these two? Later on we will see. Relative motion R. Okay, and the setting of the vessel head up or north up or course up setting, stabilize or unstabilize. So we use the stabilize normal setting of the north up stabilize. Okay, so after you set this initially, and then we can now transmit. So that is now set to the ship orientation north up, stabilized mode, and now ready for transmission. Transmit. Okay, we are now on the 6 nautical mile range. We can activate the rings. Okay, later on we will activate the rings. Now we have the heading line. Okay, so as you can see, we have interference initially with the setting of the X band in 6 nautical mile range. Now we are set to the poles, okay, with the selection of short or small poles, short poles, medium poles, and long poles. Okay, short poles, okay, it cannot be activated in more than 3 nautical miles. So short poles is only used in less than 3 nautical miles. It is very good when leaving the port or entering and leaving the breakwater in short distance. And then if we go to 6 mile range and then out to the pilotage water, 6 miles, or the coastal waters more than 6 miles, we can use the medium poles. Okay, so let's go to 3 nautical miles. Let's see if we can activate the short pole. So for 3 nautical miles, we activate the short poles, which is applicable when we are in short distance range, monitoring short distance range, applicable at the port or the harbor. Okay, since we are at open sea, short poles is no longer applicable, so we can use the medium poles. So for 6 miles beyond, or even 3 miles, we can use the medium poles up to 24 nautical miles. So more than 24 nautical miles, it is advisable to use the long poles to detect longer distance. Okay, up to more than 48 nautical miles and beyond. Okay, since we are only using 6 nautical miles, or the least 6 or 12 nautical miles, so we use the medium poles only. Okay, since we have interference, we can set the rain clutter. So let's go to 3 miles first because of the interference within the 3 miles, so we can better see the effect. Okay, for the sea clutter, so the effect of the waves, of the movement of the water in regards to the radar, so it has a minimum effect. Okay, not too much, guys, so that we will not lose the radar echo of smaller target. So the interference is much heavier than with the rain. So increasing the rain. Okay, now in this case, guys, we need help, okay, from the transmission of the radar band. So now we are using X band. X band is 3 centimeter. It is very good for normal weather, but for bad weather, guys, we need the help of a stronger frequency, which is the S band, 10 centimeter frequency band. Okay, so using the S band, as you can see, we have a more clarity of the display in bad weather. So it's very important to understand the the setting of the display of the frequency of the ARPA radar, X band and S band. So we can now adjust the C clutter, but not too much that we might lose the smaller targets or near targets near our vessel. Okay, so we can reduce the rain clutter. Okay, so we cannot lose the smaller targets. Okay, so enhance, okay, can be used to enhance, okay, in normal weather. So we can turn it off because we are already using the S band, but you can also turn it on. Enhance on is useful in 6-mile range, more than 6 miles, or more than 3 nautical miles range. So in the shorter range, so it might interfere with the identification or each target guys. So the discrimination between two targets, like this one. So this might be 2 targets, but it might appear as 1 target. So that will be the effect of the enhancement for less range, less distance range of the target. Okay, so we will turn it off due to the activation of the S band already. Okay, so to avoid discrimination of the 2 targets, okay, like this one, this is the 2 targets. Okay, there is a target appearing here, so let us reduce the C. Okay, it might also enhance the target, reducing the rain a little bit. Rain clutter. Okay, so to be able to see a smaller target. Okay, so we must know how to adjust it manually. So recommended for it to be adjusted manually. Okay, the tune is also set to manual. You can set that also to automatic. Okay. So in the advantage of manual, we can adjust it according to the needs of the situation. Okay, so we have already set up. We can activate the rings now. Okay, so the rings. Okay, it will give us an estimate of the distance of the target. So 1 ring is 1 nautical mile. Okay, going back to the relative motion, So we have 2 settings for relative. So the relative motion, let us stay only at the center or fixed position, and we are not moving. So the ship motion mode is set to relative. Okay, we have relative motion true. So the advantage of the relative motion true, guys, is it will give us the correct trail or true trail of a target. If the target is moving, it will give us a trail because that is true. But if the target is not moving, it is at anchor or stationary, it will not give us any trail or past position of the target. So it's better to use the relative motion true for the true trail for the ship motion mode. For the radar orientation, stabilize, it is recommended to use stabilize mode, that is north up. Okay, or if we are avoiding if we are altering course, we can use the course up, or avoiding collision, we can use the course up, stabilize. Okay, All right, so we will know this is for avoiding collision. Okay, so using a course app, and we are not yet altering because our course is still too far. Okay, so we can use the course app stabilize, so we will know the bearing of the target, where to look out. For example, okay, the vessel on the port bow is between 1 and 2 rings. So this is estimated to be 1.5 nautical miles, and the bearing is somewhere on the port bow. Okay, now to see this, we can see the lookout. Okay, so this vessel here, this target here, same way, is probably the vessel we are seeing on the ARPA radar, comparing the bearing and the distance. So the visibility could be here, it could be 2 miles, depending on the visibility at the point there we can see the vessel clearly. Okay, so let us check. On the ARPA radar, we can no longer see the other target, but we can see this target. So, or this target. So the visibility could be 2 miles. Clear the visibility is 2 nautical miles. Let's see. On the starboard bow. Okay, so we can still see this vessel approximately. So we can check that the visibility is around 2 nautical miles. So beyond 2 nautical miles, very hard to see already, guys. Okay, so that is the advantage of ring. We can have an estimate of the distance, sample application of the visibility. Okay, so next, guys, we can use the adjust for the display clarity. If we are navigating during the night time, the display of the radar will be different. So depends on the time of the day, we can activate the brilliance. Okay, right click, and then we can activate night 1. Okay, for 8 to 12, oh sorry, 4 to 8, sun down, or till dusk, or dusk, meaning the sun is setting already. And for the night 2, we have the watch of the 8 to 12 night time. And then we can set also night 3 for midnight, 12 to 4. And also when the sun is setting or rising already, we can go back to day display of the brilliance here. So this is, guys, the proper setting of the display, especially in bad weather. Okay, to recap, in bad weather, it's better to use the S-band, 10 centimeter band frequency. Also, for a range of 3 to 24 nautical miles, very good to use medium pulse. Okay, for right setting of the display of the target radar echo. Okay, and proper setting of the rain and sea clutter adjustment. Okay, to be able to balance the display of smaller targets to larger targets. Okay, so can we check this target? If we can see the visibility of this target, this is somewhere on the starboard quarter. So let's check. So this is our bow. So somewhere here is the visibility of the bearing of the target on the starboard quarter. almost on the app, and let's check. Okay, so we cannot see a target at this point, so the visibility is not good on the astern part of the vessel. Okay, so we cannot see any, maybe it's being blocked, okay, by the ship structure here. Okay, so let's go back to the ARPA radar. It's already on the astern part. Okay, so 2 miles, oh sorry, 2 miles visibility is very hard already. Okay, so we have only 2 miles visibility, less than 2 miles. Okay, now let's go back ahead and let's check the visibility. That's 2 miles. Okay, let's go back to the ARPA radar. Okay guys, that's it. That is our lesson for week 9. That is ARPA system display, familiarizing ourselves with the ARPA system display characteristic of each display for the correct display of our ARPA radar, and familiar with the setting and maintaining the correct ARPA display. Okay guys, so I hope you learned that, learn something and take note of that, and turn it in together with your photo that you're watching the video of the demonstration. Okay, thank you very much guys, and don't forget to turn in your activities on time. Okay, good day and God bless you all.